Hello and welcome back to Talk Seagulls, and we're back here at the Caxton Arms again after Brighton have won against Manchester City again, right? Not just once, one-off little sort of fluky win. No, we've done it again at against Manchester City at the Amex. Is what I meant to say there. Before I butcher the intro too much, but Luke, my friend, you're back here again. You're behind enemy territory here. This is getting a little bit too regular for.
We said last week, you know, I got a loan to the rivals, so yeah, like Eagle nearly did. So, but we'll get into that a bit later.
yeah. Well, there's another one. There's been a bit of a crazy sort of end to the transfer window. Actually, like there was so many different things going on. I was trying to keep up in the morning, and then sort of as we in classic fashion get towards about lunchtime to like 3 o'clock, and then you're thinking, nothing's going to happen, is it? And we had a little bit of a whisper about Joe Gomez, didn't we, of the Liverpool centre-back, which I thought actually wouldn't have been too bad a signing based on his versatility, but looks as though, I don't know whether it's true or not, but whether the Igor situation probably didn't help the Joe Gomez pursuit, because obviously Liverpool didn't complete their signing of Mark Gahey, did they? So it's a weird saga.
It was it was really weird. I was really keeping up with it all day. Especially the Eagle stuff, because I woke up and it's the first thing I saw.
Yeah.
And I was like, I think I was like every other Brighton fan in the world. Like, why is he going there? Like, fair enough, send him out somewhere, but
yeah,
who sanctioned him going to Palace? And then I saw a lot of the Palace journalists and a lot of Palace fans being like, oh, he's not our replacement for Gahey. And then it turns out he was their replacement for Gahey. And I'm in that sort of boat of people that are like, oh, I don't think Eagle's that bad. He's got mistake in him, but I think he's all right. But replacement for Gahey, I was like, I really don't think that's the right player for them. But you know, I mean, they didn't get him in the end, so
no,
it was quite funny.
What's even more mad is the fact he went to West Ham straight after he completed his medical at Crystal Palace. He went up there, forgetting the actual like integrity of the move anyway. He went to Palace, got his medical done, and then rejected it based on minutes, is what the rumour was, wasn't it? And then went straight over to West Ham, signed that deal, got that done. And then, yeah, to say Palace were just left in the dark with Gahey, thinking, well, Liverpool want him, they'll pay the money, they need to get rid of him, really, because I think his contract expires at the end of the season. Yeah. So, you know, they might come back from him in January, they probably will. I think, you know, I know he's Palace, but I think he's a class player. Anyway.
He's a very good player. Yeah.
So I'm sure he'll go, it's a big move. And to be fair to Gahey, he handled this whole situation apparently amicably well. He didn't like sort of get himself sucked into the world of Alexander Isaks and, you know, Johan Vissers of the world.
We won't get into that.
No, but he handled it well apparently, and that's what kind of is quite mad about modern football, isn't it? You can handle things well and it doesn't actually matter. If you force a move, it does. But from our point of view, as you say, who sanctioned that move? Who thought, let's do a straight loan to our biggest rivals when we're competing in the Premier League together?
Yeah, well, it was Agent Eagle is what people were saying. But yeah, I thought it was stupid. I mean, a lot of Palace fans are like, "Oh, he's our favourite non-Palace player because we've kept Gahey."
Yeah,
but I really, really don't think it's great that they kept him. Right? I mean, I know obviously he's their captain, probably their best player other than Eze, who's obviously now gone.
Yeah.
I think the way it all panned out at the end when Glasner had that big crisis meeting, pretty much with Parish, who. Palace fans, I'm really sorry to say this, but you do have to blame your owner for some stuff at some point because he is useless. And I've got very strong views about Steve Parish. But that little crisis meeting with Glasner, that's just created this big void between them. And like, I feel like Glasner's just going to go at the first chance he gets. I wouldn't be surprised if Leverkusen come in for him. And, you know, if United carry on the way they're going and get rid of Amorim, I'm pretty sure he's high up their list of targets, is what I've read. And I feel like he's just going to go straight away. And I think if they got rid of Gahey and he'd left, right, and Glasner had left, they would have got someone else in. They would have been over it straight away. But now they've got this sort of dark cloud looming over them. And I know they're going to be like taking the positives, like they've kept Glasner, they've kept Gahey for at least half the season. But I genuinely, in the long run, don't know if it's that great, like a bit of business, because they would have got like 45 million for him, or like 40 million. Actually, it might be 35 and then 40 with add-ons. But like, I feel like they should have just taken the money and then dealt with everything else that happened after. And like, I respect Glasner for saying to Parish, if you cannot sanction this deal. Also, Parish is the owner, and I also feel like Parish is going to feel a bit embarrassed by it now. And the first chance he gets to, like, if say Palace go through a bit of a rough patch, he'd have an excuse to sack Glasner now, I think. And I know that might be me just being like very reactionary or just not really thinking too much into it. But I've thought about it a lot, and yeah, I feel like that dark cloud's going to loom over them, and it's not really going to help them that much.
It's definitely that will definitely exist based on the fact of Glasner probably more than anything. Of you know what he's like, he will walk away if he's not getting the signings he wants, and he got very angry, didn't he, previously? And I feel like he could easily get angry again. And yeah, I mean, I don't really feel bad for them, don't get me wrong, but the actual move on our perspective of Igor going there, I suppose, started to make sense towards halfway through the day when the Gomez link sort of came out. There was all these messages floating around thinking, oh, there could be a move for a Joe Gomez or something like that. And if people were putting it on was it James Pearce, I think, was the one that broke the news.
I saw Dimitris as well.
Yeah. And everyone was sort of saying, oh, this is bubbling and whatever. But I think another Liverpool source then said we put a £10 million bid in for him. Whether or not that's true, I don't know. But from my sort of feeling of it, it felt like maybe, yeah, we could have done with him. I think centre-back wise, I think Buscagli and Coppola will become good players here. Clearly, for whatever reason, they don't get in the team yet. I guess Van Hecker and Dunk, if they are playing a back two, well, back four, but, two centre-backs, I would rather Hertzler sort of stick to his guns if he wants to go to his back three and just throw one of them in and just trial it for a bit, because I think that could work better in our favour in the long run. And I suppose maybe that's why we would look at Joe Gomez in that respect. He's quite fast, quite athletic, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a good sort of profile of centre-back. I personally, though, have always had an ongoing agenda against Joe Gomez since probably about 2017.
I saw you tweeting about it, actually.
Yeah, when we first got promoted, I think I put on saying about how overrated he is. Thought Liverpool fans were delusional, the fact that they thought he was better than Dunk, and that was my biggest thing. That the Dunk test was not passed until 2022. 2022 started to go like this when we got into Europe, and then from that point onwards, he's probably not been the same. But
start of the season, I think he's been very, very good.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
And we will touch on that, I bet.
Yeah, fair enough. But my point is, during that period of time, I thought he was like, I genuinely believed he was one of the best centre-backs in England, Dunk. And I compared him to Gomez back then, and I was just like, nah, not having it.
The thing is, like, Gomez, I think, is a very, very good player, and we've already said about his versatility and stuff. And that's why I feel like he would have been a good signing, because we would have had that cover at fullback, which, as we said last week, we're allergic to signing fullbacks. I know obviously we got the Kuiper, but who else we got to cover that position? And
Kadioglu, I suppose.
Well, yeah, but an experienced player. I mean, he is allergic to minutes. He absolutely loves the operating table and getting injured. So, yeah, that wouldn't have been helpful, but it would have been really good cover. Properly experienced player and played in like one of the best teams in the league. I feel like it would have been a really good signing for us, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
But when I heard about us, because I was watching Matt's TikTok. Shout out, Matt. I was watching Matt's TikTok live, and he said that he like had a message from an in the know about us signing someone, but he wasn't going to say who it was. And I don't think he actually ever said if it was Gomez, but he did say the guy can play. It was a centre back, and he could play different positions. And he was saying he's excited about it. He was saying he'd be happy with the signing. And to be honest, when I first heard centre back, I was like, oh no. But then when I saw who it was, I was like, yeah, actually bring him in. I would have been very, very happy with a signing like that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as it happened, it obviously didn't. I think. Are you happy with the transfer window on a Brighton perspective? I see some people giving it 8s and 9s and 7s and 8s, and I felt like maybe a 6 would have been probably more appropriate at this stage as we're going into the new season, just based on the fact that no one's really come in for the now, but we've sold a lot of players that are available now. I feel like it's a bit too premature to say, oh yeah, 8 or 9 out of 10, when realistically no one actually really knows anything about Zimas, Kostulas and Watson apart from a very small sample size against Oxford. It's not to discredit them, but at the moment in time, I feel like they could be good players, but I feel like we're still in that stopgap in between when they're ready, you know?
I like the signings of Coppola, Buscagli. Obviously, we wanted Buscagli last year, and the Kuiper especially. But you've already mentioned like maybe us playing like a back three. I feel like that might suit the Kuiper a little bit better because obviously he has a bit more cover behind him, and I don't feel like I've seen too much like defensively bad about him. But that's what a lot of people were saying. He's not amazing defensively, which you sort of need to be for a fullback.
The only thing I feel like he leaves is probably gaps in behind him, but I guess that's kind of the issue, as you say. Maybe we do need the back three in the sense that Weaver does the same thing on the other side. So we are quite exposed out wide, and it normally means we're overcompensating in centre backs. That's probably where the bigger chances have come.
Yeah.
We're quite lucky, really. I mean, I thought City were awful, to be honest. I thought
second half
they were awful, but I didn't think they did great. Obviously, they created a lot of chances for Haaland. Probably they should have been 2 or 3 ahead with him alone, but I thought particularly second half there was no real threat from them.
The thing is, after their goal, I don't think they did anything for Haaland. There was no service for him at all.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
I get there was that header he had that Verbruggen like sort of punched off the line pretty much, and like there was that chance like in like the 8th, 9th minute where he just sort of rolled it straight into Verbruggen. But like you give Haaland the ball, you give him a good chance, and he'll score.
Yeah,
and to be honest, I for a few months I haven't really seen there being as much service into him. A lot of people saying he fell off. He's had 88 goals in 100 Premier League games. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I find it funny when I feel like there's a thing in football where people blame almost intentionally the wrong person a lot. Yeah. I feel like it happens a lot, not just for one team. I feel like whenever there's, say Liverpool having a bad moment, Salah's fault. Or when City are having a bad moment, it's Haaland's fault. They go for the big name every time. Here it's like, João Pedro's fault.
Or Dunk now.
Dunk's fault.
It's always Dunk's
they
fault.
always go for the big one. And it's such a weird narrative that football fans have in general. It's like, well, where's Salah? Where's Haaland? Where's Salah? Where's Haaland? And you think, maybe, just maybe, it's not their fault. As you say, I feel like Haaland, don't get me wrong, that game, I thought he had so many chances first half where he could have had a hat-trick at half-time.
Yeah.
Easily. And I think on another day, he probably would have done. He never fancies it against Brighton. It has to be said.
Van Hecker, mate, that's what it
Van
is.
Hecker loves it, right? And he always gets the better of him. And I feel like it's now almost become psychological that, they're almost against each other and Van Hecker steps his game up. He knows that, he's got the upper hand on him. They had a little bit of a thing, didn't they, in the first half towards each other on the edge of the box.
Like last season as well, when we beat them and they had that little bit of handbags on the pitch.
Yeah.
Oh, that was brilliant. Absolutely. Yeah. Love a bit of handbags.
And Haaland loves a good little complaint, doesn't he? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a trend that I've noticed in football fans. Like everyone wants to blame the wrong person. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's same with Man United at the minute. I was saying yesterday, because I did some coverage on their transfer window, and I said, actually, I think the United transfer window has been pretty good. I'd say they've probably been up there with one of the best business deals in the Premier League this season.
Look at the players they've signed. Yeah. Burmo, Šeško, Cunha.
And they've let go of like Garnacho, Anthony, etc. So I think that their actual turnover of players is really good business. But people will look at it as though, they spent a lot of money on sort of in Burmo, and I feel like people just look at the result of them say, for example, Burma missing his penalty against Grimsby, he's automatically a bad signing. I just feel like football works in weird ways where narratives get controlled based on just what people think, as opposed to actually watching it. That's just me anyway.
I mean, Burma played well against Grimsby, I thought.
He did.
Really nice finish,
to
be fair.
I know this isn't another team's podcast, but like this is kind of my point of, it's always like they blame the wrong people. And if it then catches on and then Twitter will catch on to it and then it'll become just like a trend of, we need to blame somebody. So we're going to blame, as I said, more often than not, the wrong person. It always falls. Sometimes the blame isn't even on an individual anyway. Most of the time it is on the whole team, systems, whatever. And more often than not, that's where it stems from. Mentality can be probably one of the biggest issues, particularly for us. I think in the last couple of years, we do love to throw games away.
Yeah, one of our favourite things, 2-0 up all the time.
Yeah, and that's probably one thing that you could say, okay, recurring theme, happened a lot. Then you start to look why. I thought defensively we were a little bit better. Definitely better out of possession than we were previously. But I thought actually in that first 55 minutes, I don't know about you, but that was boring.
It was really bad, really, really bad. It was one of the worst I've seen us play for a very long time. We gave the ball away so many times, so many loose passes. We were getting caught in possession all the time. they had counter after counter. Right? Like we saw it, and it was well, you've already said it. I don't know how they weren't 2 or 3-0 up.
Yeah.
Luckily, second half, the changes made a massive difference.
Yeah.
We were really lucky in the first half though, because the only person who seemed up for it was Minter.
Yeah, God,
He
so
was
good.
What a game he had!
Brilliant
what
performance.
a performance! Absolutely unbelievable. And like I thought he might drop off like second half. I was like, we have been really bad, and he's been very, very good for like what he's had to do. And I thought he was going to drop off second half, but the whole game. Did he come off in the end, or did he play?
No, he played the whole game, I think.
They played the whole game, and he didn't seem tired at all. I have no idea how, because just running. His work rate is ridiculous, and I love the fact that, I mean, he's so quick, so he can get up and down the pitch so quickly. He'll come back, make a challenge, and then be back up the pitch in like a few seconds. We'll just. Last week it was Gruder, and I mean we're going to glaze Gruder again, definitely, but we're glazing Minter today.
I remember at half time, actually, I saw a message in one of our Brighton fan chats, and they were just like, "We do not deserve Minte."
Yeah.
And like, I was just like, "Yeah, honestly, like he has been electric today." I thought it's not just the first time either. I think all season so far, last first 3 games anyway, going into this international break, I think every game he's been probably our best player.
Yeah, we mentioned it about after Everton, didn't we?
Yeah,
and how he's
the only one really
player,
making stuff happen. And I think, you know, he tried to take on his man, put the ball across. There was no one there. Obviously, Welbeck had such a bad performance that day. So I think Minte in general this season is his. Like, I think this is Minte's moment to shine. He's only 21, 20, something like that.
He's
very young. As you say, electric, both up and down the pitch. I think he's one of them that once he sorts sort of his clinical edge out, and once he realises he can score goals, not just by cutting the ball back, I think, because sometimes he gets the ball and he's almost tries to do too many fake shots, and there's times where he could shoot a little bit earlier. I think if he becomes a sharp shooter and, you know, gets the ball out of his feet and shoots quickly, he could become a seriously dangerous player. And I'm talking like top level player.
I'm talking Kazenga Loire region.
Mo Salah region. But no, he does actually give me weirdly Salah vibes based on how he moves and how he cuts in. But yeah, Loire is not a terrible comparison, to be fair.
Oh, I love Loire. What a player he was for us.
Mate, proper childhood memories, that is. I mean, the shame is Minte probably doesn't have so many shots from outside the box. But
that chance he had when he put it through, I can't even remember whose legs it was, put it through someone's legs.
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Drop the shoulder. Oh.
Yeah.
If that had got in, I would have got absolutely
That would have been
mental.
one of the best goals I've seen a winger score for Brighton in absolutely ages, obviously, apart from Mitoma's. Discount Mitoma. Mitoma. He's in a different world.
Well, what's the best one you've seen since that? Because I've got one ingrained in my head.
What are we talking?
What was the best goal you've seen from one of our wingers, like other than Mitoma?
Let's
like
discount Mitoma for the sake of he's just an alien. I've got a couple. I've got one from Loire against Millwall where he whacked it. He cut inside. I think he smacked it. I think it went bottom corner. Let's think. We've had some from knockout as well, the moments of brilliance. I always hated how the Burnley goal went in 2015-16, where he sort of cut in, did 2 fake shots, and then went on his right foot.
Yeah.
But because it took such a massive deflection, it will always not look quite as cool. The goal against Derby was nice, where he had that little shimmy with both feet. Obviously the one at Palace, that's probably up there. I'm just trying to think before you cut me off. Yuri Skalak.
Yes.
QPR.
Yeah, that was the one I had.
That's the one that's just come to me.
What a goal.
2 bounces, whacked it straight with his
Unbelievable.
right foot. Absolute bullet.
And then he scored another one a couple weeks later at Charlton away. One of my favourite ever away days. He just on the edge of the box and he just passes it pretty much into the top corner. Oh, so good.
Perfect. Yuri Skalak, what a player he was.
I absolutely loved Yuri Skalak. He was like his delivery.
The assist king, wasn't he?
His delivery was honestly one of the best deliveries I've seen us. Like, I mean, corners we were absolutely awful, but his delivery was so good that I was just like, I mean, I don't really
I feel
mind.
like my agenda agended because of his lack of pace on FIFA back then.
Well, yeah. And then he had that photo where he got promoted of him in his garden with the shirt, the flag, and the 2 flags.
That's what it's all about.
What a legend.
And I remember the Jamie Murphy goals as well. Jamie Murphy loved a good goal.
Was that one against Reading when he chipped over the keeper? That was really nice.
That was class. Yeah, that Reading game, was it 3-0?
It was 3-0. He scored 2, didn't he?
Yeah, and then Knockout got the other one, I think. Mate, reliving some really good memories here. The Championship era just sits in my head like I don't know. You could name nearly any team, and I could tell you a scoreline, moment. I just remember it all at the top of my head.
That season we got promoted, I was gutted because me and my dad were going to go to Birmingham away.
Yeah.
And then it got changed to the evening, so we didn't go.
Oh,
We scored
so
the 90th minute, and then we were going to go to QPR away, and it got changed to the evening, so we didn't go. And then that Pocognoli goal went in.
That Birmingham game as well, underrated. That Murray moment, the
so
goal
good.
from Solly March as well. The ball from Solly March into Knockout.
Yeah.
As he whacked it again, it's that low-driven shot. There's just so many good memories.
What season that was?
So
5-0
many good
against
memories.
Norwich. Oh.
Yeah, mate, that's when I knew. When that moment when we smacked them, and we were like, we heard that Norwich meant to be the team to sort of worry about, wasn't it? Was it Alex Neil at the time was in charge?
Yeah. And there was Pritchard there because he decided to go to them. Oh, that was hilarious.
Yeah, and I think once we just demolished them 5-0, and I think we beat Leeds like 4-0, we beat Fulham 5-0 or whatever it was. And I remember just saying like, yeah, we're going to do it.
But the one that made me realise it was the Sheffield Wednesday. That is the best football game I've ever gone to.
That's the best Amex game ever.
Yeah, it was
Dare I say it?
incredible. 3 red cards, missed penalty, that knockout second goal as well.
Double save from Stockdale.
Cross from Pocognoli. I mean, Pocognoli, what a player he was. I loved Pocognoli. So good.
It's same. He ended up being a one-season wonder. You know, he's manager of USG now.
Yeah, I know they won the league.
Imagine he was. Yeah, no. Imagine he was the manager of us one day. That'd be some full circle. That'd be so cool.
Him. Gave us so many good moments.
Yeah.
I really love Pocognoli.
Yeah,
Big up Sebastian Pocognoli.
Yeah, Sebastian. Maybe one day he'll be a manager here. Anyway, we've digressed so much, but whilst we're on the topic of players like Anthony Knockaert, I need to talk about players and the way they move in Brian Gruder, because he is the same player. This is Knockaert 2.0. The way he moves, the way he took that goal, the way he made that run, that was, in essence, that Norwich goal over again. It wasn't quite from the halfway line and it wasn't a chip, but the way he took it, the composure as he ran through on goal, it was perfect. Absolutely perfect and so well taken, especially after that moment where, was it against Oxford the other day, where he took it around the goalkeeper and then he sort of stuttered.
Took too long, yeah.
And then he gets tackled, and that's sort of like a harsh wake-up call for a player like Gruder, where, you know, you're a very talented player, but, you know, you're in the English leagues and you will get just crunched if you try and take too long. And, yeah, he just learned from his mistake by game 2. It was brilliant.
Made me so happy as well to see him sit down both Aït-Nouri and Trafford after Trafford had been holding the ball for too long.
Yeah.
That rule, they said they're going to be really, really hot
where's
on
the
it.
corners?
He was like holding it for about 20 seconds at one point.
Yeah.
He wasting time, and obviously last time we played against him, he had the performance of a lifetime. Oh my God, we sat him down, put it past him.
Yeah.
Oh,
and he
so
made that
good.
unbelievable save just before that goal as well, didn't he? Yeah, it's unbelievable. Trafford is a good goalie, I've got to be honest. I feel for him with the Donnarumma side a little bit.
I don't get why they bought him. Man. Like,
It's a bit
he
hard.
must be fuming.
Yeah, he must be. But I've got to say, yeah, I agree with you. That moment was perfect. It was good to do it against City and the players in question. And just before that, obviously, was the Milner penalty. And when he stepped up for that penalty, seriously, did you think that he would score? Because I didn't until someone said, oh, he's the most experienced on the pitch, he won't care. And I thought, yeah, actually, you're probably right.
Well, when I saw Iari was holding onto the ball, and I was like, I've got a feeling here. I actually turned to the boat next to me. Big up, Mr. PG Tips. I turned to the boat next to me, and I was like, I've got this feeling they're going to give it to Milner. I don't think Iari's going to take it. And he was like, oh, I hope not. And then Milner steps up, and literally you just hear the collective groan from around the MS. Everyone going, oh. Have you seen the photo of everyone with like their hands?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I mean, when you lose someone like Pedro, I think he got, was it one penalty he ever missed here? And I think the only time he did miss it, he scored the rebound.
Robin Olsen. He had the game of his life. And we still
that
won,
was it. And yeah, I mean, he was so good from the penalty spot. And we've had players who are very good from the penalty spot. And, you know, go back to the Championship days of Tom Mohamed, Adrian Kalunga. Do you remember him?
Kalunga.
But then when it came to Murray, I never truly, like, as much as he was a great goal scorer, if the ball was in the 6-yard box, I think Murray would score. But when the ball was on that penalty spot, I actually just didn't really back him that much. Does that make sense?
No, I mean either, yeah. Gross, I was always...
Gross, I never felt comfortable either.
McAllister, never worried at all.
No.
I was never worried for McAllister.
The one that Pedro and Hamed, the only time I can truly say I didn't care. Like, I just knew they were scoring.
Oh, Hamed was such a good penalty.
Yeah, like ridiculous.
Yes,
so cool. Always just waited, just passed it the other way. He never whacked him, did he? It was always just a little sort of pass across. Yeah, that
Remember
it was
the
always nice.
like 92nd minute against Fulham away? I think it was like I think it was my
Oh,
first
yeah, that was
ever
unreal.
away game.
That's
actually.
unreal.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Nice.
What way to start?
Yeah, I think my first one was Reading. I think Murphy scored.
No, my first away game actually was Birmingham away when we had Hippier.
Oh, yeah.
João Teixeira.
Yeah.
Oh, what a player.
Yeah.
But
We're
yeah,
really digressing in this podcast, but I love it. But I want to just say that Milner goal was almost like the whole of his last 20 years of playing football. Was it 30 years now he's been playing football at the top level? I can't actually remember.
It's 23 years.
23 years he's been playing. That's the same age as Mia. No, you're 22. Nearly the same age as Mia. You're the same age as you, no?
I'm 24.
Oh, God. Same age as none of us. And that's, and
That went well.
That's the crazy thing. I mean, it's the same age as nobody in this room. But no, it was like all of those years just flashed before his eyes. And it's like, to think 16 he made his debut. It's 2002. And now he's scoring goals in the Premier League. Like, that's mad.
Second youngest ever goal scorer and second oldest ever goal scorer. Do you reckon he's going to beat both those records?
Who's got the oldest?
I don't think you realise what I just said.
What?
Do you think he's going to beat both those records? Yeah, he's definitely going to beat the youngest ever scorer, isn't he?
Oh, right, sorry. I meant the oldest one. Who's the oldest?
It's Teddy Sheringham, I think 40 years, 268 days.
Yeah.
And Milner was 39, 239.
He could do that because just hold it for another year and get a penalty.
Yeah, that's a
Just
good
hold
point.
it for another year and get a penalty.
Well, he's not going to retire until he beats Gareth Barry's record.
I mean,
is
to be
he?
fair, the way he took it, there was no worries, to be honest. And actually, his performance
lovely
when he
penalty,
came
wasn't
on,
it? Yeah.
brilliant penalty, right in the corner.
I don't think Trafford would have saved it if he went the other way anyway.
No, he couldn't have tucked it any more in there. And I think actually when you look at the moment as well for the number 20, did the Diogo Jota celebration, I thought it was so perfect for him, the moment that happened in. And for someone like Milner, he's such a character. And I questioned the other week as to whether he can still play at Premier League level.
I think he was pretty good when he came
but
on.
he actually did look pretty good.
He did really well. And we need someone like that on the pitch, someone really experienced. Obviously, we've got Dunk on the pitch, very, very experienced, and it's really good to be next to Van Hecker. And I feel like that partnership is going to be better this season. I feel like I don't know what it is, but I just feel like they're going to be back to how they were. But yeah, having Milner in the middle of the pitch, and like I know obviously Belieber had gone off by this point. I don't think Belieber had his best game, to be honest. I
think he's needed this window to shut.
Yeah, I feel like it probably unsettled him a little bit.
Because noticeably, should I say, I think it was quite obvious. And I normally like to say it doesn't matter. They can sort of live with it. But I think when you saw Belieber's last three performances, he was quite clearly not in it. I think Everton, he was awful. Yeah. Really bad. And again, against City, I think he just didn't quite look in it. There was a lot of moments where the ball was just sort of bypassing him. The moment, it was almost like he wasn't really playing.
Yeah.
He was sort of ball watching and he was caught out of not normal Carlos Baleba. When I talk about Baleba as being so good, it just felt like he wasn't in the game. It felt like his mind was just elsewhere. And sometimes, when they leave players out, and sometimes that can attract more attention than it's worth.
Yeah.
Because you think, he must be going if the player's out of the team. But now you can see why they do it, because maybe on another week where you say Baleba's staying, but I don't think there was any need to play him. And in hindsight's a wonderful thing. But he just clearly wasn't in that game or in the last three games. But hopefully now that that closure's there, season's started like properly now, there's no more transfers. Hopefully now he can just sort of get his head down. He's got a week now, and need to get back.
A lot of United fans probably take that as us being like, oh yeah, he wanted to go to United, but he's a young player, and you look how some like players are advised by their agents and stuff.
Yeah.
It's easily gonna have some sort of effect.
Of course it is.
On him. And like being what I think is genuinely last season one of the best midfielders in Europe, especially. Like CDMs, he's not going to be like that all the time. I've noticed he's not going to be the most perfect player like he was last season. I genuinely believe he was our player of the season above Van Hecker. I mean, Van Hecker was still
I agree with you.
But yeah, it's going to happen, and hopefully he can get his head down and really kick on. And I was sort of a little bit worried about it, and then I watched Hurts for the camp earlier actually. I saw his reaction to the goal and he was going mental. So
Yeah.
that's what you like to see.
Yeah.
We haven't seen him doing the griddy down the tunnel.
Yeah,
That's what I was worried about.
that as well. And the one, the video of him coming off the pitch, he wasn't doing something weird. He was just quite sort of strangely walking past and just went, almost as if get the camera off me. So yeah, it's going to affect you, isn't it? I mean, when there's so much talk, it was the sort of big headline news for at least 2 weeks, and everywhere you look, you're going to see your name somewhere. That must be a really weird feeling. They're just a 20-year-old. And I think he's gone from being sort of quite unknown to being very well known, and now everyone just sort of, where's Carlos? Carlos Baleba, 100 million pounds. And naturally, if you're that age, you're not there to play for Brighton, like in the long run. You're just not. You don't sign for Brighton thinking, oh yeah, this is my dream club. Like, they just don't. They would love to play for Man United, regardless of whatever. It's a massive club. It's probably one of the biggest clubs in the world. So when they see that and there's that opportunity there, obviously that's going to make them think, well, yeah, that'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Whether or not it would actually happen or not, your brain's going to naturally think, that'd be pretty good. I mean, luckily for us to say, we've kept hold of him, and I think he will now stay on and he will be a good player for us. Never ever doubted the thing of thinking he'd force a move, but it's naturally going to play with your mind.
Yeah. The issue is, I feel like United can come back in from next year, which is fair enough, right? And they probably will, especially if he has a season like he did last season. But I don't think United is a place for him. I mean, it could change over the next year or so, but I really don't think United is the best place for him. It's just not a good place for young players.
No.
And the absolute mess they're in the moment, like, can't even get cafeteria food at this point because all the dinner ladies have been sacked.
Yeah.
Like, it's not the right place for a young player, I don't think. If he had a bit older, maybe a little bit more of a, like, was it head on his shoulders? Is that the phrase?
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be different, but I mean, his agent's just going to advise him to do stuff like that because that's what they all do nowadays.
Yeah, of course they will. But as I say, hopefully he does stick here now, because as I say, he's got a bit of time. Get yourself back into the team. And I think he will. I do. I think he's got a good mentality. We've seen him in the past. He's been completely fine with stuff like this. So it's just time to sort of get on with it. You've got a bit of time now. Get back into the season. The season comes back around again next week. So as I say, sometimes that little bit of time away from the games can be helpful. And I mean, as we said, we probably haven't really started the season that well, contrary to the results of the last game. So I think in general, it's probably good just to have a little bit of a breather, because you can get yourself in a bit of a rut with performances. And I think the last two results-wise will look good on us now. So it should give us a bit of momentum coming back next weekend. But again, we'll see, won't we? But I live in hope, at least. But yeah, I think in terms of actual pickouts, I wanted to just mention Jorginho as well. I thought as he came on alongside Gruder, because obviously Gruder will get the headlines and he deserves it. But I thought Jorginho his impact was brilliant. We've clearly missed him. I thought he probably wasn't a striker. I still don't, if I'm honest. But I thought his impact was fantastic. I thought he made runs. He caused problems. His injection of pace into the game was completely different level. The energy was different level. And he created chances from the second he came on the pitch.
Yeah, that Minter chance.
Yeah, and he instantly made Minte and Mitoma look elite straight away.
Yeah, and I feel like it will probably go unnoticed is like his participation in the actual second goal. It was small, but he was in front of the defender, held him off, and just touched it down to Mitoma to pass it through to Gruder, and it's going to go like under the radar, which is fair enough. It's not like a massive moment, but without that and without him holding off the defender and just holding up the ball just for that little second, wouldn't have had anything.
Yeah.
And a great run from Mitoma to take it on, and then I thought the pass he might have overhit it when Gruder was going through. Yeah. And I was like,
The amount of times that does happen as well.
Yeah.
Where that opportunity's there's a through ball right there and there's no defender, last man. And you think they're either going to step up and he's going to be offside, or you're going to put the ball through too hard and it's going to just go past him. It's one of the rare times that ball was just put through absolutely pretty much perfectly. Maybe slight overhit, but the way Gruder controlled it and took it around the goalkeeper is insane. But yeah, I do give a lot of credit to Jorginho, and including actually Yasin Ayari. I thought all the substitutions looked really, really good as they came on. And that's a credit to not only the manager, but the players as well. I thought Ayari just helped us get a foot on the ball a little bit more. I thought we were sort of struggling a little bit, I think, in terms of keeping the ball. I think first half, I could count on so many hands, and the amount of times I was thinking, giving the ball away here, giving the ball away there. We couldn't string sort of 3 passes together, and it was very frustrating to watch. It looked almost like we were a little bit inferior, a little bit scared of Manchester City in that first half. And I think once we introduced a few players that did, were used to sort of just having that calmness on the ball, a bit of composure, you could quite clearly see the impact.
I feel like it helped Ayari being next to Milner, because we've already talked about the experience and needing that sort of level head. I feel like obviously him being so young and actually genuinely having a really good season last season.
Yeah.
I feel like him coming on, having Milner next to him to sort of ground him a little bit really, really helped. And I mean, I could genuinely talk about Milner for a while, because I thought his performance the other day was really, really good. As we've already said, took the penalty really well, and I thought he held up balls well, passed them into all those little channels and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like Ayari definitely benefited from having that sort of experience next to him for the rest of the game. No,
I totally agree. And yeah, I think overall that second half was really good. I think just to point out a couple of things in the first half, the refereeing performance for me was probably one of the worst I've seen in, not just refereeing, officiating performance was horrendous, right? And I could say it now because it's not reactionary. It's happened ages ago. And also he won the game. If we lost that game, everyone would say, just blaming the refs. I'm going to blame the refs anyway, and we won. I thought it was awful.
It was really bad.
The stoppages was insane. The 50-50s was ridiculous. There was ridiculous amounts of time wasted. I didn't know City were like that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. I've noticed that a little bit about them. They do it sometimes. They just time waste for like 10 minutes, and then they sort of frustrate you a little bit, and then they go up and score or something like that. But yeah, I was getting pretty annoyed. The amount of 50-50s, and to be honest, Premier League era, right? You must have noticed by now. If you're not one of the big 6, you're not going to get the 50-50s. You never do. It's how it always goes. And City will probably be like, "Oh, the refereeing performance was awful," but like every single time they fell over or were just lying on the floor, the game would be stopped straight away. And then there was a few times when I think it was like Minter or maybe,
we started doing it back in the second half.
Yeah, and then he just wouldn't stop the game or anything.
I think I started applauding when Minte got the one that he just went down. I don't think it was anywhere near anything. He just went down and stopped the game. I think it was in the 92nd minute. I just started cheering. I thought that was hilarious. Like, we finally got one back on him. Did you see Joel Veltman as well? Do you see this? Oh, it's so funny. The guy was pulling his shirt. I can't remember who it was. And Veltman just went. He went to go take his shirt off to give it to him. He was like, "If you want to, just take it off me, mate." Classic Joel Veltman, to be honest.
I love Joel Veltman. What player?
Very funny.
Is my highlight with the photo of him snapping Cucurella.
Yeah. Oh, that was right. Now, I think he liked that post when I posted on Talk Seagulls, which is quite funny.
It was genuinely one of my favourite moments in Brighton history. It's not me just like saying it.
Get that one illustrated from Dogma and get it up in the artwork.
I genuinely celebrated him doing that like a goal. I went absolutely mental because it was right in front of the doorstep. It was so good.
It was funny, to be fair. But I think excluding the referee performance, which I think was awful, but it needs to stop, mate. It needs to stop. If I'm a football fan, I watch football to watch my team, but also to be entertained. I don't watch football to have players sitting on the floor, diving, time wasting, looking up at the ref, losing 20 minutes a game. It just makes football, for me, wrong. It's not what it's all about. That is not the beautiful game. That is just the unfortunate reality of modern football, where you have to go down to get certain things, you have to celebrate, you have to frustrate, you have to cause issues. But it's become ridiculous. And the players need to take accountability as well. It's not just the referees.
The problem was he just didn't let the game flow.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It was just every single time they go down. And it did happen with us a couple of times, like towards the end of the game. And like, I mean,
but
by that point, you're just like, oh, thank the Lord he's actually giving it to us for once. But it was quite embarrassing, to be honest. And a lot of City fans are going to be like, "Oh, you were doing it as well." And
but it's not even that. I don't care if I blame our players as well.
Yeah, well.
I hate it. I hate all of it. I hate the way that the game goes in terms of time wasting. I hated when Enciso did it. I hate when Pedro did it. Just drove me mad. I still would hate it if any of our players did it now. The only time I celebrated it was when Minte did it at the end because I thought it was hilarious after the whole game we've had to put up with. Then we're finally 2-1 up and he just decides to go down. It's just quite funny at that point. But the physical thing of stopping the game all the time and losing the amount of time you do in football, that's not football.
Yeah, I mean, no, I do agree. And it was very, very frustrating. It is annoying to watch, isn't it? Like,
I just get bored. I'm not going to lie.
I don't know what game it was, but someone said, like, it was this weekend, I think, and they got, like, I think it was Newcastle, actually, when they got the 12 minutes at a time, and then obviously Liverpool scored in, like, the 101st minute or whatever it was. And
Liverpool and Newcastle making me laugh so much. They've just completely bullied them into a corner, haven't they?
Yeah, it's quite funny, though. But,
yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the ball was only on the pitch for, like in play for about 45 minutes of the whole game or something like that. Like, I saw that there was, like, so many stoppages and people were complaining about there being 12 minutes at a time. But supposedly there was just the ball wasn't even in play like for like even half of the game. I might be wrong, it might be like longer, but I definitely saw something saying like, oh, people complaining about added time, look at this stat instead. Yeah.
But you lose so much, you never get it back. I mean, the first half was 3 minutes added time.
Yeah,
how much time did we lose in that first half? It was 3 minutes of them celebrating the goal. They're not even joking.
Took ages. Yeah,
ages. They went back, got a water break in between it. I think Marmoush was still halfway up the pitch when everyone else was back. It's just mad. I don't get it. For me, it's just not. That's not what I want to watch. It's not what I want to watch. And if it's not Brighton and I'm not at the game, like obviously we go to games, we're match-going fans. So when I'm at the game, I get annoyed about it, but at least I watch the game. But if I'm watching it on telly or something and I'm watching Super Sunday or whoever's on Sky or whatever, and I'm watching that, I'll be honest with you, I'm just going to go do something else. Like if it's just constant stop-start 0-0, I'm still waiting for something to happen, I get bored. I just do.
Get boring,
I do get bored. And I know I'm in the wrong industry to say that, but it just drives me mad. I watch it for the sake of it, but I just think, oh, it's just rubbish.
It was really boring that first half, to be fair.
Don't get me wrong, I'm happy I want to see real, proper game of football. Sorry, I spoke with them. I want to see a proper game of football. I want to see something where it's end-to-end. You got a bit of this. And I understand that some games aren't going to be 3-3. Some games are going to be 0-0. They are going to be a bit dull, but at least be a little bit dull and you can't create chances rather than the fact you've spent 20 minutes on the floor in the first half. But anyway, I could rant about this for ages.
The modern football fan.
Yeah,
but
some people love it. Some people think it's great. Oh, he's won the foul. He's done the clever thing. As we get told, it's the clever thing to do. He's gone down. He's felt a touch.
When you're further up the pitch and you've got a chance to get like an attacking free kick, it's a bit more like understandable. But you start falling over in your half or like in the centre circle, and you're like, what is the point?
But the referees do it. Referees love giving them. I reckon. I reckon they love it. I reckon they love that reaction from the crowd as we all stand up there. I get out my seat, start shouting at the referee, lose my voice, have a sore throat next day. They love that. Yeah. I think they think that's great. They probably think, oh, we've got them angry again. We can be the main character, yeah. It's
one of my favourite things, just booing the referee, no matter what. It's always awful performance. But the officiating is bad, and you can see
linesmen get a lot of stick, I'll be honest. I think that one's probably the hardest one, the linesman. Because if it is narrowly offside, then put the flag up. Like, I understand why they let them go, but even that's ridiculous.
There were a few times, right? Like when was it Gruder who went through and he sort of like got past Kusanov? And he gave the free kick straight away, and then he went through and scored. Like, what is the point? Just let it run. If you want to do this, if you want to have VAR and all this, just let it run. And maybe it's not a foul. Like if you're gonna, they say, oh yeah, you got to place the whistle, right? And then they blow the whistle, but he's going through on goal. Just let the play flow, and then they don't want VAR to like re-referee the game or anything.
No.
But if that's the rule and they're going through and they want to be able to check all these goals and stuff, just let that happen.
Agree.
That really, really pissed me off, actually.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, I didn't feel like there was much in it. And Kusanov is absolutely toilet.
I actually thought he was quite good. I'll be honest.
He's just quite quick, I think. But I think he's pretty bad other than that. He's quite lightweight. And I thought there was absolutely nothing in that Gruder one. So that really, really annoyed me. But yeah, as you say, referees want to be the main character.
What I love is that we've just won this game against Manchester City, and there's still so much anger towards these officials. And I think, to be honest, it's justified. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, we say this, and then you look at the Chelsea-Fulham game. What the hell was that?
Exactly.
It's one of the worst decisions I've ever seen. We've been on the end of like a few bad ones. That game against Spurs really sticks out.
It's just terrible.
My head's never been more like on the mood after that game.
I was in my car and I was just on the radio and they're like, oh, it's just ridiculous. So I actually pulled over. I watched it on my phone. I was like, I'd have to see this.
It was genuinely...
It was terrible,
wasn't it? Awful. Imagine being in the ground right next to the Spurs fans.
Mate.
That's where I was.
It's
Spurs
poor.
fans right here.
It's poor.
It's
poor.
Awful. But then, well, we mentioned the Fulham one. I want to hear your thoughts on that quick, actually.
What one? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, the Fulham one.
Yeah, absolutely awful.
There's no way. Game's gone, mate.
That was genuinely one. Oh, my God. I didn't see it until quite late, and it was horrendous.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous.
Agree. Anyway, yeah. That's the Premier League summed up. I think that's a pretty good performance, to be honest, Luke. Well done. Good shift. I'm going to sub you off now, mate. Good performance. But yeah, no, thank you very much for coming to Caxton Arms. Absolutely class. Absolutely loved it. Do you see these, by the way? You see this?
I did see them.
I couldn't help myself. I've got to be honest. If Topps don't sponsor me now, then I don't know. This is ridiculous. These are so cool. And also, just while I'm on the subject, I did get Minte Mitoma for a start, but the one that was really cool, and you can think what you want about a certain somebody. There was one that they've redone, which is a bit annoying. They've redone the old cards with the you remember the limited edition ones?
Yeah.
And they're like all gold and black and stuff like that. They've redone one, but unfortunately it's Purvis Stepinian, which is at least he didn't leave on bad terms. But that, if you can see that, you want to zoom in on your screens if you are watching on video. An old classic style Purvis Stepinian I thought that was elite. And then finally, of course, the Glenn Murray one. I thought that was just brilliant. They've almost done these classic old school top.
It says classic threads, but that's like 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, well, actually, it's 18, 19. So when
18,
yes,
18, 19.
mate, it's 18, 19. When we got promoted second season.
God, we're reaching Unk status, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. And the classic little Glenn Murray Premier League. The fact that Brighton now have a retro Premier League card, to me, it's just mad, to be honest. I find that insane. But Topps, you need to sponsor me for this because I'm not getting paid for this. I wish I was. But Luke, mate, I really appreciate you coming down. You think they're cool, aren't you?
Yeah, I think it's pretty sick,
yeah.
to be fair. I used to have a massive album with all the stickers.
Yeah.
So I used to buy about 6 or 7 a shift.
Did you?
Yeah, when I worked at Co-op, yeah, me and my mate would buy so many. Just go behind the till and start opening them.
I love it.
Right, and just to end everything off, little outro. I need to wish my brother a happy birthday because it's his birthday today. And I'm sure many, many people have seen this photo before of a sad Brighton fan when we played Palace in the playoffs and we lost. That there is my brother, and I told him I'd give him a shout out for his birthday today. Happy birthday, Liam.
I love that. Make sure you get involved now. Also search Sad Brighton Fan on Google.
Yeah, Sad Brighton Fan.
And you will find it. And you probably would have seen it. It's probably one of the biggest memes, I think, of Brighton fans out there. So
I didn't realize how big it was until I started seeing it on TikTok. Yeah, that was the best one.
Thank you very much for joining us here at Caxton Arms. Luke, make sure you follow him if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, but I'm joking. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you hopefully next time. We've got, who's next? Oh my God, is it Tottenham next? Am I right?
No, it's Bournemouth. Tottenham.
Bournemouth away. I'll see you before Bournemouth away on the A27, M27, and we'll speak soon. Goodbye. Thank you.